loves. Today I have with me
Ryan Mason.
Yes, so I'm super excited for this because, I love when, my loves will like to go on my channel, just share what they've been through because you never know if one of my loves watching has been through the same thing, and just hearing their story, how they overcome, how could they do, do what Ryan has done or something, try something you want to do as yourself. So today I have Ryan with me and we'll be talking about his life and how he overcame anxiety, depression, and just living from, anxiety also, and how he was grown up living in a physical abusive home, and just how he got to where he is today and how does he continue to keep going and to stay strong. So I'm excited for this really motivational video. But before we start, I just tell me about your upbringing, who you are.
So I was born in Downers Grove, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
I was born to my mom, Sandy, and my dad, Robert. I have one biological sister, Ashley, and then later on in life, my mom got married twice.
Mm-hmm.
Their second marriage, I have 4 step-siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 3 stepbrothers and a stepsister who I love and adore so much. I have 3 beautiful nieces, a wonderful nephew. I grew up kind of in Homewood, Illinois, so in Cook County. It wasn't a bad part, it was actually a nice part when I was growing up, it was very nice. And being born in 93, in the 90s, it's like free, it was like, for some reason I say it's like the best time to grow up was in the 90s, because it's just like, be free, be yourself. And when I was about 3 years old, my mom and dad, after I was born, we started fighting a lot, and it was just something that, as a kid, you don't really recognize that, but for some reason I recognized that. And my mom and dad would fight, they would start cursing at each other, oh, you fucking drunk, oh, you bitch, this and that. And there was one fight that had scarred me for years. I couldn't, for some reason, get over it, and it was my mom and my dad would fight. And I remember I just heard my mom say, get off me, you fucking drunk, and she went to kick him right in his private area, and my dad just went bam and backhanded her across the face and gave her a black eye. I just heard my mom just let the scream, and all of a sudden, my mom's a very strong woman. She's one of those people in my life that's been very strong. She's been like a backbone to me. So my mom, something just came out of her, and they just started fighting physically. I remember, and all of a sudden I just see my mom and dad go right through my bedroom door. And my dad hits the floor, my mom is on top of him, they flip, my mom's on the floor, my dad's on top of her, they flip back, and then my mom just socked him right in the face, and he had a black eye and a bloody nose. It was, I remember just sitting in the corner on the side of my bed, just crying, like holding my teddy bear, I'm crying, like screaming, like stop fighting, because at 3 years old, what are you gonna do? You can't do really anything, you're just a little kid. After that, my mom and dad, they separated. They were never married. So my mom and dad just separated. My dad lived with his mom, and my mom and I lived in Homewood. And then I was 5. My mom moved me and my sister and her boyfriend, Jimmy, who later became her husband in April of 2006, down to Bradenton, Florida. So I went, lived down there. I went to school at Palmasola Elementary. And it was wonderful in Florida. It was beautiful weather, palm trees. You got to go to the beach after school. It was just wonderful. I loved it down there. And my mom, I could tell she was, her attitude was changing a lot. She felt free away from that abuse, because she went through a lot of abuse between my sister's dad and my dad. So watching my mom kind of go through that, it was just something that I could feel her pain. And so my mom's happy, I can feel happy. If she was sad, I would feel sad. It was just something that we just kind of would feel together. And then we moved back to Illinois, to Lombard. I lived with my grandma, my mom's mom. And then there was me, my sister, and my mom's boyfriend, and my mom. All of us lived together in the same household. And then we moved to Glen Ellen. And then from there, I lived in Glen Ellen for approximately 13 years. At around 19 and a half, I went off to the military. I was in the Army, National Guard. I had went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I was sent home on October 11th, 2013. I had broken my wrist in 6 places. I had surgery on my foot. And it did teach me a lot in the military. It teaches you a lot of things. It gives you ways to actually think, like, you can get over this by doing this, and do this by doing that. So being in the military kind of gave me a metaphoric foot in the ass. It helped me become stronger. Grow up, become stronger within myself. And then we lived up in Ingleside, so we moved it was after I graduated high school in May. My mom and I, we were selling the apartment over here where we lived in Glen Ellen. And then we moved to Ingleside in July. And 2 weeks later is when I went out to the military. When I came home, my mom didn't know I was coming home. I actually lied to her and said I was coming home the day after, which is on a Friday, but I came home on a Thursday. And when she saw me, she was crying. She was so happy. She's like, my baby boy is home. Da da da. You know, it's like I'm like, I'm here. And she looked at me. She's like, you look so different. You look so grown up. You've got this muscle. And you know, this like my whole body was different. Like I felt different. But before that, it was there's a different image of me. And then I wound up at the age of 21. I was kicked out of my house, and I lived with my mom's ex-husband. I moved back in. And since then, I've kind of had like ups and downs. I had a car accident that changed my life forever, where I flipped into a ditch 3 times, and I walked out. It could have severely injured me or killed me, in a sense. And it was 6 days before my 22nd birthday that accident happened. After that is kind of when I would think my life sort of changed. I saw a light that was like, you need to make differences in your life, whether it be driving, listening to people, start listening to people. That was the one thing that I had a hard time doing, was listening to people, because I didn't take their advice very well. And at the age of 22, which is after I had the accident, I got a new car, a Ford Taurus, and now I have a new car after that, which is my Volkswagen that I have now. And having that car, it was like a fresh start. It was like my saving grace in a sense, to get me back on my feet, get a job, get to school, do what I had to do. And now here I am today at 26, 27, you know, working a full-time job that I love, going to school full-time, expected to graduate in 2022 or 23 with a bachelor's in science with business, and going for a master's, and working another job. So.
Well, first, let me say that was so much. That was so much to take in. Oh my gosh. Well,
Yes.
I think like I just feel like you're talking to me, like so much happened to you so fast. You know, I'm not saying you like was forced to like, you know, do better, learn better, like grow up older, but certain circumstances happen to you with certain obstacles. But the thing is, when you were younger and you've seen the physical abuse that your parents did for each other, your mom was in a domestic violence relationship, you know, your dad, he was an alcoholic, and they really didn't get along, and they will physically fight. And when you're younger, or how old you are growing up, and if you're around that environment, you know, that's toxic, and, you know, physically, that could literally put so much harm and really, like, detour someone from growing up. Because you see that, like, literally when you're growing up as, like, an everyday thing, you know, and good thing about you is that you learn from that. You know, it was other people who literally themselves would probably grow up, you know, not getting the help they need, would beat other people, beat themselves up, thinking they were the problem, you know what I'm trying to say. But you watching that when you were 3 years old or even younger, and how did you overcome that? How did you get through that stage in your life?
So after that fight happened with my mom, my dad, and they separated, my mom would try to get me to a different environment. She wanted me to be happy, have a happy childhood. So my mom was a single mom, basically raising me and my sister. And that's one thing that I want to say about my mom. She's a courageous woman, and she sacrificed a lot for us. So working 4 jobs, putting a roof over our head, clothes on our back, food in our stomachs, it was just something that we watched our mom go through. And so when I would go into school, I didn't realize I had this pent-up anger in me from that, and they realized that kind of early on. So they put me with a social worker from when I was in elementary up until all the way into high school. And when I was in elementary, I started to get bullied. So being in that toxic environment of where I came from, and then being bullied, it would just, those two together would just start butting heads. And I felt very alone. I felt very isolated. Just like, I felt like nobody was there. And when I was about 9 years old, it wasn't an actual diagnosis from a doctor, but it was a self-diagnosis that I sort of now kind of gave myself at that age, which was adolescent depression. And so having adolescent depression, you know, your mind as a kid, you know, you just want to be alone. And my depression would get so deep. Now, a lot of depressions, you can cause self-harm. They want you to think suicide. They want you to think, like harm other people. Mine did none of that. Mine triggered something in my brain to where it would want me to tie myself up and to my mouth shut and just do that. And for 4 years, I battled that depression. And
because you're like, for all those years, it was just like you're like fighting yourself. You didn't know how to deal with your anger. You didn't know how to voice and communicate how you felt. So you were doing that when you were growing up, and also you were getting bullied did not even help.
Nope.
That made it 10 times worse. So you're growing up feeling isolated, feeling so alone. And the good thing that your mom did was she worked her ass off, did what she tried to do to get you out of the environment. But the thing is, you were still trapped within yourself. So what did that take you to overcome? And
so around 13 years old, I had a pivotal point in my life where I lost not my great aunt, but she was my aunt. Technically, I call my aunt Kathy. She had cancer and she passed away. It was something about when she passed away, because her and I were so close, that I realized that life was short and that you had to make the best of every day. And it was just after her memorial service, I was sitting on the couch, and I felt this fist just kind of like a punch on the arm, and I knew that was her. That was like, it was like, hey Ryan. And that was something that like I noticed with a lot of people I'm close to that have passed on in my life. I always feel their presence with me. And at the age of 13, I started working with special needs. I started very young, at the age of 7. One of my best friends is Jeremy. He and I have been the best of friends, and he has Down syndrome. When I was in middle school, 13 years old, I had started working with the special needs, and it was just something about that took my mind off of what I was dealing with, and I started to realize, like, hey, this is something that I love. And so when I would do that, I was just happy. I became so much more happier in my element. And I also started to play music. I started playing piano and drums at the age of 7, self-taught, and then I started playing guitar at the age of 14. And listening to music was another coping mechanism. So when I was, after that depressive point in my life, when I was going to go do what the depression would have me do, I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth to do this thing. And I just threw it away, and I just took that negativity and just got it out of me and threw it out. And since then, I've left it behind, and I have been 14 years clean of that depression. So a little message out there: if anybody has depression, if I can get through it, you can get through it. It's not just something that's it's all in your mind, but you can find that key to unlock that lock and break the chains away to get out of it. And so from that time up and through high school, I worked with special needs. I was part of school activities. I would be a part of music. I like to draw. My one friend, Graham Stevens, which I know you know, God rest his soul, he was one of my closest friends. He helped me find God again at the age of 17. So without him, I wouldn't have found God. I wouldn't have made my confirmation. And probably without him and my friend David, both Ringberg, who both passed at the age of 19, it was them two that really were like my brothers. And so my best friend Patrick, who's always been there for me too. So I've had 3 really good friends of mine that helped me find who I truly was. And it's just something now that I can look back at and be like, I've become so much stronger from that.
That's really good, because not only did you overcome your depression, you overcame the things that you were fighting when you were younger, things in your life, obstacles that you said, I'm no longer letting this get in my way. I'm gonna do what you just kept moving forward. I'm gonna do what I have to do, because I have depression, anxiety myself. That's fucking amazing for you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like mentally, like with mental health, that could just be on like another subject within itself. You know what I'm trying to say? Like some people overcome it. It happens randomly at times and stuff. But for you to overcome it, has it ever came back for you? Have moments that you get down, or?
I mean, there's been a few times where I felt down, but there's always something that keeps me back up.
Get you.
Yes, and so at the age of 18, I became an uncle for the first time. My sister had her beautiful daughter Paisley, and the moment I held her, the first time I held her was Christmas Day, and I looked at her in her eyes, and she looked at me, and I told her, I said, "You are my forever Christmas present." This was my Christmas present from my sister for life, was my beautiful niece. And then 4 years later, almost 5 years later, she had another daughter, Molly, and that's why I wear this necklace here. It says Godfather on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm my niece Molly's godfather. And when she asked me that, I was so honored to become the godfather. And it says Love Molly on the back.
I love it.
So I wear this necklace everywhere I go because it's my way of being with God, but also me embracing that title of godfather of my niece. So when I had that come into my life just changed forever. And it wasn't just not only physically and mentally, but emotionally and spiritually. So there have been times where anxiety has kind of kicked in, and my anxiety hit a pivotal point when I was 19. After I lost Graham, my anxiety just went on a whirlwind. It took over me. It was just something that I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. And when I went off to the military, it took my mind off it completely. And when I came home, it was like, anxiety who? Like, what is this anxiety? Like, what is anxiety? And it's like, now mentally, when I feel it coming on, I usually feel it in the base of my spine. Is usually where I feel the anxiety start to come in. I can deactivate it and dismember it before it even happens. And I like to write in journals. That's one thing that helps me. Draw, being with friends, listening to music, playing music, and even my job I have now, working at Chuck E. Cheese, I get to dance and perform and do what I love. And that's just like my escape is going to my job, and I love it.
I love this. I love it. It's like you kind of, how you watch those fairy tale movies and stuff. Like, people's like, there's no such thing as happy endings. But the thing is, there's always such thing as happy endings.
Yes.
Your life is not over. Life is what you make it. And just like you could have a happy ending. You can always deter and change your life how it's changing. It's all up to you. So you. We've been through so much, you continue to go, and like the things that you've been through, it helped you shape who you are today.
Yes.
And you learn from those obstacles, you learn from the situations, and you literally was like, okay, I could be this way, I could feel this way, but in the end, I want my life to be, I want to be happier, I want to be,
Yes.
more, have these things, and you did what you had to do to turn it around. And that's the thing, what makes you different from most people, is that some people, I feel like, I wouldn't say some people have a weak mind, but people might lose hope. They feel alone. And literally, people might feel like, the life I have now, I'm not happy. Maybe I deserve it. You know what I'm trying to say? But it takes us. It's like, if you are not happy with your life, if you want better in your life, it's up to you to change it. Only up to you to change it. You can have hope. You can have miracles. But the thing is, you have to physically, actions, you have to actually put the power, the strength to actually make your life better. Life is what you make it, and there was like just one quote, it's either you could be miserable in life or happy in life. The amount of effort is the same. And I'm just like, damn, now that's freaking crazy. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's okay to not be okay. Like, even if it lasts a week, a month, a day, but the thing is, as long as you don't give up on yourself, that's all that matters. We all have our days, our bad days. You had moments left to right. But instead of you looking at it like, damn, this is how my life is going to be, you literally wanted each obstacle made you grow and be the man that you are today.
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
And now you're spreading it, letting my loves know,
Yes.
you have so much, you got a new car, you have, 2 jobs now, you're going to school, you have so much going for itself. But the thing is, he could have stopped at any moment.
Oh, yeah.
How his life was growing up, he could have stopped, he could have been like this, I don't want to continue going on, I don't want to do this. But the thing is, once you find your why and your purpose in your life and what you want to do, like nothing could stop you,
Exactly.
just like, I want to keep going, I'm trying to say. So, I want to say thank you for sharing this with me.
For sure.
Honestly, I love it. This is amazing. Like, the whole 5 minutes he first started talking about how he, he came up, how he was born, because the thing is, you never know what someone is going through. Without you even telling me that, I wouldn't even know that you were going through what you were going through. And I always say how we need to spread positivity and love, because you never know what that person is going through. And just the story today just showed me, like, it's just so much. And it showed me, like, empowerment, and just showed me that really, like, you really have the destiny of your life.
Yes.
If it's not going good, you could change it for the better.
Exactly.
So I think that's really powerful. I really
yeah.
do. But where do you see yourself, like, in the next 10 years?
Honestly, in the next 10 years, I see myself being a father. I want to have at least 4 to 5 kids. So I want to be a dad.
Because you had a big family. You have a big family.
I do.
You
And
could be a great dad, too.
I I'm also want to have my own business, my own family, fun entertainment business. So like a Chuck E. Cheese.
I can see that. Oh
but
my
my
gosh,
own
yes.
twist on it.
Yeah, I like that.
And there's a few other things. I'm very passionate about different organizations, and there's an organization that I've been very powerful with, and it's the suicide prevention. And it's one that I'm very strong and passionate about, because this year I had one of the hardest battles in my life, losing my godmother, Patty Walsh, to suicide. She was 51, and she was a Chicago police officer. So losing her to that, my mom and I faced one of the hardest challenges that we probably could have ever faced. And my mom raised almost $200 for it. I'm going to try to raise money for it. And also, she was really big in the LGBTQ plus community, so I want to raise money for that. And I want to try to spread her legacy. So there's going to be a lot of things in those 10 years where I'm going to be honoring her and spreading her legacy, doing things in her name. I want to be able to even share my message with other people, be a motivational speaker. I want to do stuff like that, and really just share everything that I've gone through, and it can just help a lot of people.
Yes, I love that.
And in so far, in the last, I think it's been the last 4 years, I have saved 10 people from suicide. I've lost 2, but I've saved 10. So with that, it's just something that I felt that it was in my heart that I had to do, because going through what I've gone through, I shared my story with them, and they're like, wow, like maybe there's another way to do it. And like I said, depression has a lock. If you find that key to open that lock, you break away the chains, there's the light right there, and you'll be happier ever since then. Even with anxiety, it's got that key. Every single thing that's in the mental mind will have a key or a lock, and you just gotta unlock it. And once you unlock it and break free from those chains, you're free. I used to have this huge weight on my shoulders, and now it's like I've lifted it off me, and now here I stand in 2020. Miracles do happen. You got to make it the way that you want to make it, and it's up to you. Don't let other people try to deter you from what you love, what you're passionate about. That's all that people did for me, but I've always put in the back of my mind, and here I am right now doing what I love, entertaining kids and families every single day of my life, doing the things that I love, and going to school for it. So
that's amazing.
Goes to show.
That's amazing, and I love how you want to continue to help people and be a light in their world. Because I always say, you never know what someone's going through. Be a light in the world. Even say hi, thank you. You don't like your hair, anything that you could say. And I'm sorry for your loss, because suicide, it's literally, no matter what anybody says, suicide is real as fuck. I'm a suicidal survivor. I tried many times to kill myself. My best friend killed himself 2 years ago. And suicide is real. And the thing is, you walk by people every single day, you don't even know that they contemplated and planning on killing themselves. So if you haven't learned anything from this video, I hope you have, but literally be a light in your own life. As much as you can, spread joy and be joy in someone else's life. And if you're hurting inside, once you spread love and open your heart, it literally helps you. Like, honestly, like me, when I help people, anything I do, it helps me, motivates me, and I hope one day that you will stop hurting yourself. I know it's not easy, but it really takes dedication, discipline, it takes motivation, it takes inspiration that you have for yourself to go out there and make the change that you need for yourself. Your life is not over unless you say it's over. I know we have our bad days or bad moments, and it's okay not to be okay, but it takes a lot for you to just not give up on you, because even though life is hard, life is beautiful. It really is. And the thing is, we have to remember, life doesn't get easier, we get stronger. That right there speaks so much volume. Like, it really does. So I just want you guys to remember that. Like, right now, you feel like you can't get through this, it's too much for you. Reframe back, take a step back. How are you looking at it? Is it your environment? What are you around? Like, who are you spending your time around? Is it you? Are you being negative? You know what I'm trying to say? And how are you treating people? Because if you're treating people bad, karma is a bitch, and that shit will go right back to you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
that's what I believe in, is a karma.
That's what I said. Like, you know, and if you're spiritual, you know, religious, even if you're not, you know, pray. If you pray, just know that you're never alone. You know, you have your angels watching over you. You have me, you know, you have Ryan, you know, you have, you know, people. We do love you. We want you here. So I just want you guys, if you didn't take anything in this video, just take that you are the author of your own book. You are the author of your own life. And whatever you're going through, mentally, physically, you know, you gotta get the help that you need. If your mental health is getting worse, anything, like, just, like, wow, like, I feel like it's just so crazy. I'm happy that she shared your story with you, because I know my loves watching probably has literally faced what you're going through, or even if not, something similar, you know what I'm saying? And it's just remarkable and awesome to hear somebody else's story.
Exactly.
You know, and that probably motivates you watching, when my love's watching, or just something, hearing it from somebody else, knowing that you're not alone, you know? So what do you have to say for my love's watching? Anything you want to say to them?
There's a quote that I've followed for years, and it's by Abraham Lincoln, and it's always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is far greater than any other. And that's a quote that I've lived by ever since I was in like middle school, technically beginning of high school. Your life, like Kia said, it's a book. You write the chapters of that book, and some chapters they may be some of those really deep chapters where it shares your battles, but there's other chapters you can make light of that. And for me, in my case, I've overcome being in an abusive household with not only physical and domestic violence, but with mental, verbal abuse and emotional abuse. You know, I've been through bullying and depression and anxiety. No, I've never contemplated suicide, but I've saved people's lives by sharing my story. And, you know, and my godmother, who is right now watching above me, she unfortunately lost that battle to suicide. And if anybody out there is going through that, you can come find me, come find Kia. We both have YouTube channels. I'm Riley Arcade God. That's my channel. If you want to find me, I even spread messages on my channel about love, positivity, do what you love. And as much hate as I've gotten for doing what I love, I just put the hate behind me. Fuck the haters.
Yes.
That's...
I always say, like, Martin Luther King quote, I don't know by heart, but it was like, darkness cannot drive out darkness, hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that.
Exactly.
I don't care what anybody tells you, love always wins. You know why? Because first of all, I know it's other people, but I'm a living proof that I do it every single day. Love always wins. No one can tell you different, because that is what I'm doing. You know, I've been through some shit, you know. I learned from what I went through. You know, I'm not cold-hearted. I'm not bitter. I'm not mean or none of that, because I learned from what I've been through. You know, I got my heart broken many fucking times, but I'm not changing my heart. I'm not changing who I am just because someone has hurt me too bad to that point. You know, they're hurting themselves, so... You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I literally forgot what I was just saying. Hold on.
It's okay. And, you know, I've known Kia since high school. We went to high school together. So when I was, I was a junior when you started.
Yes.
So she was a freshman. I was a junior. So, and I remember meeting her for the first time, and she's a sweet person inside and out. And seeing how far she's come from then till now, it's amazing. You know, she's got a wonderful fiance.
Thank you.
She's gonna have a beautiful baby.
Oh my gosh, yes, happening too fast.
I mean, she's got all these going for her. And if she can do it, I can do it, you can do it.
Yes. Basically everything he just said, honestly. Like, I always say, as long as you're trying, that's all that matters. Because I do have my moments. I do. And, you know, when I do share, like, what I'm going through and stuff, some people are like, I can't believe that, you know, you go do this and you still do what you do. And it's just like, I have to, you know? Because every single day I choose to be happy. I choose to be happy. I'm not saying smiling all stuff, but I choose to see the positive in the day. Because life is hard, and what I do in my videos, I just know someone watching, I can make, even if it's just one person, I can make their day. That's why I do what I do. And every single person is going to do something we know nothing about. You watching this, you're going through something that I know nothing about. You know, don't stop. Don't give up on yourself. Love yourself fully. Never stop working on yourself. If your life is not where it wants to be right now, you need to do what you need to do to get on the right path. Your life is not over until you say it's over. When I say that, if you stop trying, and until you stop believing in yourself, having faith in yourself, you're never alone. If you ever need help, you know, come to me, come Ryan, and come anybody you want to communicate. I'll put Ryan's information in the description box below. The suicide prevention website, put that down below as well. So I'm saying if you are watching this and your life is not going where you are, I would just tell you to, take a step back, self-reflect. What do you need to do to change? You have to put your goals and plans into action. And you have to know that as long as you're trying, that's all that matters. It's okay to not be okay. We are not perfect. And who the fuck wants to be perfect? I don't want to be perfect. I want to be me. Love yourself for who you are. Do what makes you happy. Live life with no regrets. Know your worth and never settle for less. Let me tell you something. If you have regrets and if anyone's trying to push your past on you and trying to improve, don't need those people in your life. You're not defined by your past, only if they let it define you. That's what all I have to say today. You guys keep blossoming and be the beautiful flower you guys are always meant to be. I want to thank Ryan for being the next up of my channel. Thanks for showing your empowering, beautiful story, because it's amazing. You don't know what anyone's going through, and if Ryan did not even tell me what he was going through, I wouldn't even know that. It just shows me how much we need to continue to be here for one another. Spread the positivity and light, because you watching, I know damn sure that you're going through something I don't know nothing about. That's what I do. What I got to do, because I want to be light in your life. Exactly. See you guys later, loves. Thank you for watching.
Bye.